Hello. Good evening. What an interesting 5 minutes I've had. Interesting, I use unwisely. I mean, incredibly infuriating. The most annoying thing ever. Yes, I've been a bit AWOL due to the fact that I just went and took these lovely women. Oh, I'm going to answer straight away. Hello, good evening. You're through to Turf Talk Tuesday. My name is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are, you don't have to. What would you like to say?
Hi, Kellie-Jay. This is Patrick calling from Vancouver. Hello again.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. I saw on your itinerary that you're coming to Canada, and I just wanted to lobby for a visit to Vancouver if you can manage it.
I think Vancouver is pretty much on the top of our list. 100%.
Oh, brilliant.
I don't think we could come to Canada and not come to your lovely city. Do you?
Yes, rainy. It's rainy, so I think umbrellas might be a good choice. Your fine selection of umbrellas.
Well, yeah, I'm in talks with Amazon right now to see if we can actually get some merchandise sold straight from Canada. So
Oh,
yeah,
brilliant.
umbrella seems like a good option, but we're probably not going to be there until April. Um,
Okay, fine.
yeah, and the first film of the tour is coming out hopefully the beginning of January. So yes, we are onwards and upwards. But yes, we're coming to Vancouver. What specifically makes you want us to come to Vancouver? What do you find the most difficult?
Well, there was recently a drag queen story hour at Kitsilano House, and there was a reasonable protest outside, so
Mm.
that was good. And then the CBC wrote an article on it, and on Twitter, all of the comments were very much against the drag queen story hour concept. So that gives me hope that there's a bit of spark in Vancouver to respond to this nonsense.
Well, sounds good to me. Yes, I agree. I think more and more people are getting a bit fed up. I think Drag Queen Story Hour is kind of a gift because those men don't seem to have a good idea about what is family friendly. I don't know if you saw the recent pictures from Texas. So there was
Oh God.
yeah, it's so gross. so, so for people watching who have no idea, basically a drag queen sort of was wearing fake breasts, talked to a child about being hungry in the audience. I won't say too much because it does make me feel really sick. But yes, I'm definitely coming to Vancouver. I'm assuming I will see you there.
Oh, most definitely. Hopefully, yes, yes. Hopefully, Billboard Chris will be able to access whether it's Robson Square or whatever. I know that they've driven him off of that, the police. So he might have to cheer from the sidelines. But yeah,
Well,
I
yeah.
think it would be brilliant.
We're going to work with some lovely people on the ground to make sure we can speak wherever we damn well choose. But thank you so much for your call this evening.
Cheers.
All right, cheers. Bye
Bye.
bye. Hello, good evening. This is Kellie J. You're through to Turf Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are, you don't have to. What would you like to say?
Hi, Kelly. It's Nina from Yorkshire.
Hello, Nina. How are
We've
you?
met before. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really great. Thank you. What would you like to say on this lovely Christmas week?
I'd just like to say that I'm looking forward to you coming to Newcastle, and there's a few of us hoping to be there to speak.
Good.
And yeah, just thought I'd ring. I didn't think I'd get through, to be honest with you.
Well, you did get through. And for everybody who's listening, you've given numerous powerful speeches at Let Women Speak
I've
events.
spoken
And
twice. Yeah.
can you put into words uh, what difference it makes to you, how it feels to sort of say these things out loud? And do you want to tell people a little bit about your situation?
Yeah, so I've got a daughter. She's autistic. She's non-verbal. She's in a residential school for children with special needs. Um, so I'm really sort of, it's important for me for her to have female same-sex care when it comes to just personal care, hygiene, going to the showers, going to the toilet, things like that, for her choice, obviously, if that's what she prefers. Um, and it shouldn't be allowed for a person to have a GRC. That's my sort of aim of it. Is we need to repeal the GRA. It's just a lie on document, and we need to get rid of it. End story. But about coming to the meets, it's just wonderful to be there. It's amazing to meet all the women, and it just makes you feel confident to speak in your own life afterwards. It's just a weird energy for you all to be there, and just you can say what you want, and you don't have to worry and be scared, and it carries on afterwards. So if you're ever thinking of going and you've never been, give it a shot. Definitely go. Anyway, I hope to see you in Newcastle. So
oh yeah, me too. Well, I've got to say, Nina, after you have spoken and you've talked about your daughter and why it's really important for her to have female-only care, so many people comment and get in touch, and by you standing and talking about it, you definitely paved the way for so many more women in your situation to speak about it. So thank you so very, very much.
Good. Well, I'm glad. Good. Keep speaking. Everybody's got to keep speaking. Keep going. Say some more.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing you in Newcastle. Thank you so much for calling. Cheers. Bye. Hello, good evening. This is TERF Talk Tuesday. My name is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say? Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. This is TERF Talk Tuesday. You're through to Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say? I'm losing everybody this evening. Either they don't think they're going to get through, or they can't hear me and when they do. So that's technically amazing. Oh, by the way, my little avatar this evening is an AI avatar. Apparently that's what AI thinks I look like. I'm quite happy with that. They can be blue eyes. Who wouldn't want that? Good evening. You are straight through to TERF Talk Tuesday. My name is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say? It's very interesting that this is happening a lot. Okay, I'm just going to leave the line open. That's four in a row. Nora Calder with $8.99 super chat. Got my mum some lovely merchandise for Christmas. Okay, I'm going to answer one more time. Good evening. This is TERF Talk Tuesday. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Hello, good evening. This is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You
Hello?
don't. Hello, I can hear you.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi. What would you can say who you are. You don't have
Eva.
to.
I'm calling from Scotland. I've called before.
Hi, Sheila. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, so I've got two questions. First of all, I want to come to Glasgow.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it is. Could you please tell us all where is the spot where to come?
Well, I'm currently talking with women in Glasgow. We will give everybody at least a couple of weeks' notice, but it will be somewhere very easily accessible and central. And we're not keeping it hidden because of TRAs or anything like that, because they can come if they damn well please. This is just more that the amazing women that organise it have probably told me where it is, and I can't actually tell you right now. So it's just me being rubbish.
Okay. I just wanted to prepare, so I just wanted to find out where you are.
It'll be somewhere really central and easy to get to, so that as many people as possible can attend.
Okay. So, and another thing, I speak about this issue all the time with my partner, and he's on board. He supports it and everything. And he put a question to me this last weekend past, because I told him what happened in Scotland with the judge ruling in favor of trans women, that they're actually women and that they can sit on committees and do all kind of stuff that we didn't want for them to do. So he said to me, could you please ask Kelly, because he can't obviously speak to you, he's busy and stuff, he works. So he wants me to ask you one thing from his point of view. Okay, I'll just read it out to you and try and answer me, please. So he says, if in a few years' time it turns out she has lost, like you lost, this battle over the definition of the word woman, will she still feel pride associated with the word, or will it forever be tainted for her because she must share it with people she fully believes to be men, and more so, not good men, perverted, creepy, dangerous men?
That's a jolly good question, and that relies upon the premise that we're going to lose, which I really don't think we're going to lose at all. And even if we lose the right in Scotland and in other countries, we won't. I won't ever lose my mind. So I'm never going to get to the point where I feel I'm sharing anything with anyone, even if in law we have to. Like, there's plenty of things. I just don't. I cannot see a future in which we don't win this battle because it's lies. So I will always be proud to be a woman. I will always consider it our language. I don't believe, even if by force of a gun, that we are supposed to share it with men. I don't believe I ever will. So that would
Hmm.
be my answer. Probably not good enough. What do you think?
I'm on board. I believe that we've been here on this planet for so many thousands of years,
Yeah.
and everybody knew what is a woman and what is a man. So how come these judges, like, they should be all and wise and all that? How on earth are they thinking that somebody can just put on a wig, take some hormones, and just start to saying we are the same? Because we are not the same. Like, if you take the DNA test or if they dig your body up, they will find out what you are. So I don't understand how they can say that we are the same.
I totally agree with you. And look, tell your partner, husband, whichever he is, that if he
Yeah.
joins the fight, then maybe we'll win it a little bit quicker.
Say it again.
If he joins in the fight, maybe we'll win it a little bit quicker.
He's fully on board. He's laughing at me, but I show him all the stuff what's happening in courts
Mm.
and what's happening to women, and he understands completely, and he can't believe himself how on earth is this happening. But he's also saying that there are other issues that are more pressing, such as the freedom of speech that they are taking. Like, during the COVID, they transferred so much wealth to other people and nobody noticed, and other things like that.
I personally think the notion of these gaslighting lies in which women are the main, we bear the brunt of most of this. And it is our freedom of speech. So freedom of speech is one thing. We can all lose the freedom of speech to say what we do or do not like about vaccines or COVID or lockdown or pandemic or whatever it is. But women are ultimately losing the freedom of speech to actually say what we are, and that what we are excludes men. So I agree that freedom of speech is a big issue, but I do think even in those kind of, in the realm of freedom of speech and gaslighting and coercive control, women are bearing much of the weight of it. And some men are, if not all men are. We are all being gaslit, but it's happening to
Yes.
women more. And maybe you have to be a woman to actually be able to grasp the notion of not being able to express what you are is such
Mm.
a fundamental loss of freedom of speech that I think it actually trumps anything else. I genuinely
Mhm.
do. But thank you so much for your call, and
Yeah, thank
thank
you.
your boyfriend, for husband, partner, whatever he is, for his question. Thank you so much.
I'll see you in Glasgow.
Can't wait. Really look forward to meeting you. Cheers.
And me. Bye.
Bye bye. So let me just finish off saying Super Chat 8.99. Got my mum some lovely merchandise for Christmas. Thanks. Will you be coming to Belfast? Yes, I want to do Belfast and Dublin. Perhaps potentially in the same weekend. I'd like to say to James, thank you for your 44.99 Super Chat. I was going to ask you all if you had your highlights of the year, but I think other people. Oh no, I'm going to answer this. Hello, good evening. My name is Kellie-Jay. You're through to Turf Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I was on the line, so I was a bit far behind. I just wanted to call to say that I went on my first stickering campaign in Brighton the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was passing Primark, and I thought I'd go in there and just see what was going on with their changing rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Saw unisex changing rooms. I took some clothes in there just to see, and it's just curtains. So I was standing in the cubicle, and I just thought, this is outrageous. Women are not safe in here to get undressed. So I put stickers all over the mirrors in there. On the way out, I spoke to a security guard, and I said, there's nowhere for women to get changed safely in this store. And he apologised and said that he constantly gets security calls to the changing rooms.
Wow.
So I emailed Primark, and I just asked them, how do you expect a curtain to keep women and children safe from predators? And I got a really lengthy email back. I won't read you the whole thing because it's. I'll just stick to one point. They say they offer 2 types of changing rooms, and any gender changing room that can be used by anyone, and a women-only changing room. But then they go on to say in the email, in terms of the practicalities of how the women-only fitting room area works, it relies on self-identification. So I sort of was horrified because, and I started talking to my family and friends, just so, do you realise that when you go into a store that says women only, you would assume that it was women only, and it's still not. So I didn't know what to do with that information, with that email. So today I spent an hour in calling Trading Standards.
Oh.
So I called them just to say my experience. I didn't feel safe, and that first of all, it's a safeguarding issue with just curtains, and how if they're saying women only, most women, have no idea, especially older generations. They think they're going to go into Primark. They've got 2 options, all gender, which they'll think no, and they'll go to the women only, having no idea that there's this relies on self-ID. So I went to Trading Standards, that is this legal, and do they have to declare that? Do they have to have signage?
Yeah.
So I've just left it with them to see where they come back. But it was interesting because I got passed around to about 3 people in Trading Standards. And the first person I spoke to was a man. And he started saying it's a really difficult topic. And I was saying, it's not difficult.
No.
It's really quite simple. And he just couldn't say anything. And at the end of the call, before he was going to pass me on to someone else, I just said, do you feel, after the conversation that we've had, to warn females that you know about changing rooms? And he just said, I don't have an opinion.
It's so weird. It's such a big fat lie, isn't it?
Yeah. And so I just feel you've really inspired me. I've been following you since the Let Women Speak event in Brighton. And the other night you just said, if not now, when? If not you, who? And I thought, yeah, I've got to do a little something. I thought I really recommend to anyone who hasn't tried stickering. It's an amazing feeling to start doing that.
Did you have, because I always think when I talk about this, about how people feel and sort of, I was doing different methods of how to stick the sticker on the sort of, I could cup it in my hands, the sticky side, and I can just walk past things and sticker, and it feels like really naughty and rebellious and brilliant. I feel like I always feel like I'm overselling it because it can't be that great because it's just stickering. But seriously, isn't it just so much fun, and you kind of feel like you're part of the fight?
Yes, and also with my mum, she now wants to buy stickers, and her friends, they're going to go around. They live in Norwich, and they want to go around doing a big sticker campaign. And also, you said, just start talking. And after the Primark incident, I went into my local stationery shop, and the lovely lady that works in there had a Christmas jumper on. I said, where did you get that from? She said, Primark. So I said, oh, God, do you know about Primark changing rooms? And she had no idea. So just having those conversations, that led on to her telling me that her niece goes to a high school, Stenning High School in West Sussex, and her niece is now scared to go to school when she has her period because they have made the toilets all mixed up.
Jesus.
So it's like they're selling this idea that it's all kind and inclusive, but we've now got girls in this country who are afraid to go to the toilet at school.
Wow.
So I just said, you know, people have just got to start talking and not be afraid and just having conversations.
Yeah.
So
well done. Well
so it's
done.
my start. So next year I'm inspired to just start doing a lot more and hopefully come to one of your events if you come back to Brighton.
I'm sure we will come back to Brighton. My calendar is shaping up to be quite full, but I'm sure we will come back to Brighton. But thank you so very much for calling in. It really does make a difference. Just even, you know, stickering, which I actually think is one of the most fun things to do.
Yeah,
but thank you so
recommend
much.
it highly enough. Thank you so much for all that you do.
You're very welcome. Cheers.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Hello, good evening. This is TERF Talk Tuesday. My name is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Hi, Kellie-Jay. It's Cassie from Speaker's Corner.
Hello, Cassie from Speaker's Corner. How are you?
I'm just come back from stickering.
Ooh, what was the kind of target of stickering this evening?
Chelsea and Westminster Hospital.
Was it?
Now, because you know they're extending their department to operate on people.
Yes.
So it's my local hospital. So that's what they're spending their money on instead.
Wow. And
I got a thumbs up from a taxi driver on the way home in my adult human female gear.
Did you? Tell everyone why you targeted that hospital, just in case they don't know.
Oh, because they are spending money on extending supposed transition operations, which we all know don't work and leave people permanently disabled, on medication that causes cancer.
Yeah.
And and it's an NHS hospital, and that's what they're going to be doing. Like they're going to be churning them out daily.
Do you reckon if you bumped into some random on the street, if you got talking, you told them that that's what the Chelsea and Westminster were planning on doing within 3 years, 260 pretend penises that would never really work and would sort of mutilate the genitals of a young woman. Do you think people would even believe you that we were going to spend NHS money on that?
I don't think people know the details of what the operations involve.
No.
And how not advanced they are, and how they leave people, you know, unable to go to the bathroom. Because we're going to be paying for each of these patients to be mutilated, and then for their care and their disability until they get cancer and die. I mean, that's how it's going to, you know, happen.
It's just
and
so
it's
scary.
And so the more that end up in that situation. Anyway, that wasn't what I actually phoned up about.
What did you phone up about?
I had this idea earlier about toxic femininity, because I'm not sure because when people have mentioned it, they kind of do it as a reverse of male toxic masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're looking in the right place. So with male toxic masculinity, how I see it is being in this campaign has led me to actually appreciate what men do. So, you know, putting up buildings, pneumatic drills, fixing things, carrying shit, you know, that is what men do, right?
Yeah.
The build world.
Mm-hmm.
And women are more like, so if men are the tiles in a bathroom, women are the grouting, which holds everything together.
Yeah, nice analogy.
And so how I'm visualizing toxic femininity is an example came up over the weekend because I ride my bike. Female cycling's been captured a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And in the cyclocross competitions, 2 of the winners were men.
Yes.
And then the Cycle magazine, Cycle Weekly, did a piece on it saying, well, we spoke to the women, and the woman that came in 5th said she didn't mind.
Oh, God.
And that, for me, is toxic femininity. It's when the grouting is so welcoming and so trying to keep things together that it's actually really destructive and harmful. So it's not aggressive like male toxic masculinity. It's not violent. It's not rape, which is how I see toxic masculinity. It's instead of driving and doing good, it turns against women and causes harm. That's my definition of toxic masculinity. But for toxic femininity, I don't think it's the same. I think it's so being so compliant. It's destructive.
Right. So basically, toxic femininity is kind of be kind.
Yeah.
I like it.
To your own expense.
Yeah.
And those around you.
I think that is a working definition. Definitely. I certainly think it's toxic femininity is the sort of the extremes of excluding and sort of covert aggression, which is suppressed and manifests in different ways. So I still, God, isn't it terrible?
I mean, I was thrown out of cycle groups, women's cycle groups. I was asked to leave. One of them posted that tranny who does the pottery. He's like a really aggressive style of mountain biker.
Right.
And they Grace and Perry. They posted a Grace and Perry video. And I said, well, lots of AGPs have army backgrounds. And they said, you're not allowed to use that language. It's not inclusive. We think you should leave.
Oh, it's so horrible. How long have you been a cyclist?
3 years, and I took up cycling because my local swimming pool removed the female changing area.
Oh God!
So I used to swim 10 o'clock at night, and I wasn't prepared to go swimming and come out into a mixed changing area with like naked men. It's just like, no.
I don't blame you.
So I took up cycling, joined lots of female cycling groups, and they were all captured. And there's one thing I feel I should say about the kind of things that take place. There was an American female pro cyclist called Chloe Dygart. And on Twitter, a while ago, she all she did was like maybe a tweet by Trump. That was it.
Right.
And she was on the American cycling team that are sponsored by Rafa, and they went nuts.
God.
They completely policed female behaviour and said, unless you go for re-education, we will be removing not just your sponsorship, but the sponsorship from the whole American team. You need to go for re-education and check your thinking. All of that.
Wow. Oh, it's so scary. It's so scary. But you're always a fabulous asset with your lovely rosy cheeks at Speaker's Corner, and really hope to see you. Probably not until the end of January. I don't think we're going to do December, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to do something in January that will involve screens. But we will definitely be doing the end of January. I don't think I can do the end of December just because I don't know who's going to come.
Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, can't
it's lovely.
Can't do that. So sorry. But yes, thank you for your call, and I will think on about the definition. See you after Christmas. Have a lovely Christmas.
You too. Bye.
Cheers. Bye. So, hello, good evening. This is TERF Talk Tuesday. You are through to Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Hi, Kellie-Jay. My name's Taylor. We've spoken a couple of times before, and I've been to some of your speakers' corners. I spoke at the last one. And I wanted to call in just about a couple of things, really. Yeah. The second one, I'll leave till second because it's slightly controversial. The first one, I wanted to just send all my Scottish sisters and daughters the biggest hug and handful of love that I possibly can. Many of us are probably keeping up with the Scottish Parliament this week, which has just been horrific and anger-making, to say the least. And I just wanted everyone north of the border to know that my thoughts are with them this week. It must be truly horrific, and we're all feeling it down here.
Totally.
I'm sure that we are. And secondly, I wanted to bring up a rather, well, I don't know if it's controversial or not, but a rather slightly controversial person. I don't know whether you've heard of a lady named E.J. Rosetta, who...
I've heard of her.
Yeah, she hit headlines recently. She's a journalist for Pink News and a publication called Diva. And she claimed to have peaked recently after being asked to research J.K. Rowling and find some transphobic tweets that she said that she never found. However, many people have since become rather suspicious of her, and recently she has been doing a lot of what is called on Twitter as Twitter Spaces. Now, for those who aren't aware of Twitter and Twitter Spaces, they're like it's almost like a WhatsApp audio group that you can go on Twitter and speak live. You don't have to show your face or anything. You all go into a little room and can speak. And she's been giving platforms to lots and lots of trans rights activists. She even has trans rights activists as her co-host. And she platformed a couple of very well-known trans-identifying men in her last space, one of which he goes by the name of Frida and is not a very nice man at all, has targeted myself and targeted many others that I know, and probably many that I don't know as well. And she has another one coming up where she calls us all cis women. So I just wanted to raise a bit of awareness. I know it's controversial, and I'm sorry to use your show to do it, but I just thought I would just spread the word.
I'm just going to say that I've never heard of Frida. And I think we have to stick to the notion that these trans activists, their biggest ever audience is Twitter. They don't even have an audience in their own lunchtime or lifetime. So we have to remember that they may seem like they have some sort of power of persuasion. They may target people on Twitter, but I really, all I can recommend anybody does, and if you think this woman is dodgy, just grey rock block. That's what we do. And we certainly do that with trans activists, because trans activists are not going to do anything but argue with you. The people that you want to reach and the people that you want to sort of direct your tweets to is the people that are as yet undecided, because they have no idea what's going on. So my word of advice is, anybody your gut tells you is dodgy, they are dodgy. And the worst thing that can happen is that you're wrong and you've protected yourself from somebody who's actually nice, which I don't really see a downside of doing that. But yeah,
I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
There's not a single trans activist. There's not a single man that wears women's clothing and uses a woman's name who I would give more than a minus 27 seconds of my time. They just don't get any of my time at all. And by the sounds of it, you're far too intelligent to give them any of yours. And yeah, Twitter Spaces sounds fun though.
Yes, definitely. And there is a space that is being done at the same time. If anyone wants to come, that is going to be celebrating women. When I say women, I mean women. And if you want a safe space to go to, seek that one out. If you do indeed want to go to a space that night. But I completely agree with you, Kelly. A wide berth, I think, is always a good idea, and it's a safe option.
And let me just say, when I'm back on Twitter, if I'm ever back on Twitter,
please come to spaces. I host lots, so I'd love you to come and join one of mine. It would make my day.
Be so much fun.
Surfy talk.
Well, it was really nice to talk to you this evening, and grey rock. All right, cheers, lovely.
Yeah, will do.
All right, have a nice Christmas. Bye-bye. Hello, good evening. This is TERF Talk Tuesday. My name is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Good evening. I'm really shocked that I'm actually through. I just wanted to say I've been trying to call for a very long time. I wanted to say thank you for everything that you're doing.
You're very welcome.
I started sponsoring you, just sending £10 a month. When you were, I suppose you were exploding, which is the correct word, over the Rotherham grooming scandal. And you said enough is enough. Our girls are not being protected. I wanted to thank you. I wanted to basically say, I think I wake up, and I'm not sure about other women listening to this, but I wake up every single morning thinking I'm in a parallel universe.
Yeah.
I look at what's happening in the world, for example, to us. For for example, in Afghanistan, women have just been informed that they are not able to go to university. Then you look at the darlings in Iran, the fight that they're having over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we look at our own country,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a poisonous little person by the name of Nicola Sturgeon, who is trying to make it legal that somebody can say they're a woman, as you are aware, Kelly,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
merely by stating they are. I don't think in our society, in our country, I don't think we've ever been under the threat that we now find ourselves under. Even during the 16th century, when they were burning women at the stake purely because they understood how herbs worked with regards to infections and medicine. And for me, my biggest fear, actually, where I find I am most exasperated, is when you speak to other women and they merely shrug their shoulders and say, oh, well, I cannot understand that they do not feel that they're in a fight.
Yes, I agree.
On my part, I tell as many women as I can to please watch one of your videos.
Thank you.
You really are. You seem to be the only voice here. I think that's really standing up and shouting, apart from J.K. Rowling. And again, they can't cancel her because of who she is. She's an absolute darling. Again, I'm exasperated when I hear that you've been visited by the police for going to a march in Brighton by simply saying women are women and men are men, and you do not choose to become a woman.
Yes.
It's physically impossible. We all know this. We all know it's physically impossible to become a woman. Okay? When you are presented at A&E, I don't need to tell you any of this. You are treated as your sex at birth.
Yes.
So why is it then when women say, actually, we don't want men in our changing rooms, we are now told that we just have to merely allow them to come in because it's going to hurt their feelings? When did we lose our rights?
Well, I think we had them for about 5.5 minutes, maybe back in the late 80s. And I think sort of the rise of lads mags sold sexual empowerment as actual empowerment, and I think a lot of women bought it. And so we sort of thought, when the Spice Girls came out and FHM and Loaded magazine, I think we thought, we've got the keys to the castle. And then it seems to have been downhill from there. I'd take old-fashioned 80s sexism over this kind of current gaslighting and misogyny, to be honest.
Absolutely. And here's absolutely. And here's the thing: for a woman, it should always be about our choice. Whether you choose to, for example, get married, have children, not get married, have children, never to have children, to become a lawyer, to become a road sweeper, to have a religion, to not to have a religion, to maybe even if you wish to be the little woman at home, I hate to use that phrase, that's your choice as a woman.
Yeah.
But it's also our choice to have our own language. I actually emailed you a little while ago. I no longer work for the company now. You may remember the email. I had to fill a form out, and at the end of the form, I had to basically describe who I am.
Right.
So I went to look for the word woman. Now, where was the word woman? It just wasn't present. The only label I could give myself was cis woman. That doesn't exist. The word cis is a made-up term.
Yes.
So why am I having my language removed? And this is a major British retailer.
Yeah. It's just too crazy for words, isn't it? Like,
it is. And
what do we do with it?
Well, I think we have to, as women, and every single woman listening to you needs to do literally one small thing, whether it's to speak to a couple of family members, whether it's to buy your stickers, whether it's to wear the t-shirt, to come on a march, to post something on Facebook. It doesn't have to, you do not have to incite violence. You can literally say, I am a woman, my space is being eroded, my rights are being removed, my language is being removed, and I am not happy.
Yeah.
We are allowed to say that. the fact that
we're just about allowed to say that.
Absolutely. But the fact that women with a platform are being labelled as, I mean, I've heard literally everything, as I'm sure you have. Racism, sexism, this is towards us. They're Nazis. Nobody is a Nazi. Nazis gassed 6.5 million poor Jewish souls. A woman who says she doesn't want a man in her changing rooms that has a penis and testicles is not a Nazi.
Yes.
It's even the language that they're using directed at us is absolutely disgusting. And I think where I become most infuriated, Kelly, is when other women shrug their shoulders.
Yeah.
How can you shrug your shoulders? I listen to you. I never miss a podcast. I listen to absolutely every single piece of media that you produce. And sometimes I almost feel I've got to not turning you off, but I can't. I'm so infuriated, and I realise I've got to continue to listen, because we are all involved in this fight.
Yes, we are.
And that's really what I just wanted to say, that we have to do something about this. And I wanted to say thank you to you. I'm sure your life cannot be easy. And just for the record, I absolutely adored the way that you handled the police lady that called you. Hi, Kelly. How are you? You can come down on your own tuition, but if you don't, we'll arrest you. I thought you were wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Well done. Well done for broadcasting that.
Well, she did give me a heads up. She phoned me, and my kids go to school sort of through country lanes, so I was very lucky because I couldn't actually hear her. So I said, "Can you phone me back at 6?" And I knew I'd have my Zoom ready to record her.
Well, it was good. But I just wanted to say to you, thank you so much, because it's not just our voices in this country. As I say, I feel very saddened with what's going on in Iran, heartbroken for the women in Afghanistan, that have had all of their education removed. And as usual, it's us. I mean, I am a mother of a son. I'm so proud of him about to serve his military, our military. I'm not a man hater. I'm so proud of him and my boyfriend. I'm not, as I say, I think women, and I take a role within the home. I like to nurture the boys. I like to look after them. It doesn't make me less of a human being.
No.
But I am allowed to say that I am not having a man in my space.
You absolutely are. And I hope you keep saying it. And thank you so much for your call. It was very kind. Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do. And hopefully I will be at one of your marches soon.
Hopefully meet you. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kelly.
Merry Christmas. Bye. Hello, good evening. This is TERF Talk Tuesday. My name is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Hi, Kelly. I would just like to say hello.
Hello.
I don't know if you remember me. My name is Amanda.
Hi, Amanda. I do remember you. How are you?
Hi. I'm so excited for you to come to Glasgow. We have women travelling from England, flying over from Ireland. We're all getting together to stay in a massive big Airbnb to come and support you.
I'm so excited.
So many of us.
Can you tell everyone who you are, Amanda? Please.
Yeah. So my name's Amanda. I was in prison, on remand in prison for 7 weeks, with 2 men. It was only 7 weeks, and I've said this a lot of times on spaces on Twitter. I was really privileged though. When I was in there, because I was on remand, I was never sentenced because I wasn't guilty. So when you're on remand, you're allowed so much more privileges, so many more family visits. You're just allowed a lot more privileges. So, and I was the only woman in there in that female prison that wasn't drug addicted and had my bits about me. So that was 6 years ago, and now I want to be here to speak for these women who don't have a voice, because, as I've said before, most of them they can't speak out, and if they could, they would be speaking out. And this is one of the most important things that I called in for, Kelly, is because I've seen what you've been going through, the doxing, people putting your children online, or even just bringing up articles about you that, you know, show your children for no reason other than just to be a cunt, right? So I've been trying to speak up for the women, and this is what I want to say. I wanted to say stay strong. I have had so much shit since speaking up, and I knew that I would. That's my cat. I'm so sorry. He's a Bengal and he's a moan.
Sounds like a human.
Yeah, I've had so much shit, like, speaking out. I've had women on Twitter, you know, saying, you know, don't listen to this woman. She's a violent criminal. She's, you know, she's done this, she's done that. Things that, you know, that have been proven not guilty, but it just makes me more, all I keep saying is, this is why I'm a femalist and not a fucking feminist. And these are women, certain women, you know, that will come to your things. It's not your job to police this, but it's the hypocrisy and the shit that I can't deal with when they say that they're rad fems and feminists and, you know, they want to stick up for women, etc., and fight for women, and yet they seem to be the ones who are actually the worst at tearing other women down. So, you know, I've got a load of them trying to dox me just now, put articles up about me that shows where I live, you know, shows where my children live, obviously puts us at risk, just for coming and speaking out for women in prison. But I'm just going to tell you that it's not going to stop me.
Good.
It just makes me, you know, it just makes me want to do it more. But I just wanted to let you know that you are still my fucking inspiration, because when these women do this shit to you and you just go, suck a fart with my arse, I'm just like, yeah, I'm on that fucking wavelength. So thank you so fucking much, and I cannot wait to see you in February.
I can't wait to see you either. And I just want to say that the your speech in Brighton, that everybody got to witness, that those of us that were actually right there breathing the same air were so inspired by you. And so many people have talked to me about you giving a speech, that I just want you to know that you're amazing, and just you inspire loads of women just by speaking up. So keep doing it. And I really look forward to, oh God, you're making me cry. I really look forward to seeing you in February.
Not again.
So
well, I look forward to seeing you as well, darling. Okay.
All right. Love to you. Bye. Oh, geez. She gets me every time. I think it's because she swears so well. Okay, super chat, $5 from the lovely Ali Snyder. And I know I've missed some super chats and I can't scroll up enough to go and get them. So I'm really sorry. I know there was Mary Dyer. Thank you so much. Spoke at our board meeting again last Thursday. Sent you a link. Hope you enjoy. Merry Christmas to you all in a lovely turban. Thank you, Ali. Hello, good evening. This is Kellie-Jay. You are through to Turf Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Hello. If this is your neighbour, I think you know which one.
Oh, these poor men. Maybe Pornhub is down. Hello, good evening. My name is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Hi, Kelly. I phoned in a couple of months ago. I don't know if you remember me. I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse and domestic violence.
I do remember you. How are you?
I'm not great after watching. I am not from Scotland, but I am coming. The caller earlier, Amanda, I'm coming up with her. I'm from Wales. I'm coming up to Glasgow. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But I'm quite scared after watching the Scottish Parliament vote out the amendment of removing the chance of sex offenders getting a GRC today.
Yeah.
As a survivor in that, and the idea that they could masquerade and go into children's environments under the new gender, new name, it's quite terrifying. I've got 2 young children myself. Obviously, I've experienced the horrific things that I have in my childhood. And I just wish more people would speak up about these dangers, and about, you know, I really do believe that if this gets through, that, you know, we are in danger in England and in Wales of extremely similar things happening potentially.
Yeah.
And of more children being exposed to sexual abuse.
Mm.
And, you know, we don't know the current numbers because there are so many people that don't speak out. And it's only sort of over the last year and a half that I've actually started to speak out publicly about what I've been through. And it took a lot. And also, like Amanda, I've had stalking. I've had people trying to rename my story as something else and make me out to be untruthful.
Yeah.
And I expected that. I didn't expect the stalking, but I expected sort of people, you know, not a lot of people want to believe that these things actually happen. I guess I just really want women to grasp exactly what potentially that means. And the dangers that it's going to put children in.
Let me give you some words of hope, because I think that would be appropriate. So Scotland are doing so many terrible things, so publicly terrible, terrifying, awful, that more and more people are waking up, including in Scotland. And it may take some more nasty turns before people really do wake up and see what's going on. But I think because Scotland's so bad, I don't think we have a chance of getting anywhere near that in England. And that's not to say that Scottish children aren't really important, or Welsh children aren't really important. I just think we really have to stand so firm in England that we then can, no matter what losses are suffered elsewhere, that we then can rebuild and women can build upon our shoulders. So I really don't think, I think that the care system in this country is so utterly terrifyingly abusive and terrible for children. I don't think many people even understand what is going on with kids. I don't think we could even fathom the lack of safeguarding and the cavalier attitude people have towards the safety of children. But I do think when it comes to this particular issue, the more Scotland mess up, the far less likely we are likely to. I really do fundamentally believe that. If Labour get in, maybe we're going to have some different stories. But by then, hopefully, we've embarrassed them into submission and they will give up this idiocy and understand
I really
what's
hope
going
so for
on.
Wales, because at the moment we can't even pull our children out of our SE. My child at the time was 5 and got took to a drag queen story hour in our local library without the parents' knowledge, and that's in North Wales. And we didn't get told until they were already leaving, so I had no chance to
That is
step in.
absolutely disgusting.
We've had a company go in to give like talks to the children. I think they're called No Outsiders.
Oh yeah, that's that guy. The guy that wrote that program is the guy that then went to Birmingham and went to one of the most sort of devout, strict Muslim primary schools in order to really cause a massive fuss about his queering the classroom style education, which is No Outsiders. So he's the architect that then caused all the fuss in Birmingham with those parents standing up. And I would have thought prior to that people would have come down on the side of Muslim parents, and they absolutely didn't.
Well, we now have a fancy, lovely glass plaque of No Outsiders outside the main reception of our school.
Jesus Christ.
It's just horrific. I mean, here in Wales, we can't pull them out. So that's what makes me scared for sort of the Welsh children, is that we're already far in the rabbit hole of this just idiotic, just complete insanity.
Yes.
And I obviously speak to my children regularly, and I remind them about consent. I remind them why they are unable to consent. I remind them that they are a boy and they are a girl and they're unable to change their sex.
Yeah.
And you can change how you look on the outside, but it's not going to change what you were born as. And just to maybe take what they're told in school with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
And I feel that as long as we have that open conversations at home and they feel able to come to me and tell me if they've heard something that they don't think's right, then we can sit down and we can talk it through. But that's so hard to have that constant thought each day of what are they being told in school today.
Yeah, it kind of makes me want to do, I don't know how we would do this, I don't know whether it would be an act of vandalism, kind of makes me, whatever size that plaque is, makes me want to design sort of an opaque sticker that would just go over the top of it and just say, is it a Stonewall plaque or is it a No Outsiders plaque? What plaque is it?
No Outsiders.
So maybe we can have a nice little groomers just right where
I'm
the No
there for it.
Outsiders is.
I will. I would absolutely do it. There is CCTV
You send.
everywhere,
I'll
but
tell
to
you
be
what.
honest,
For
I'm not there.
Christmas, I will make it for you. Send me the dimensions, and we will make it
Oh, bless
especially for you. Just send me the
I will
dimensions.
do that.
Put it in the subject because I get a lot of emails, especially at this time of the year. So just put in the
Okay.
thing that we just put spoke on TERF talk, and then put what we talked about, and I will get the right size sticker so that you can just. You have to be very sneaky. You have to practice your stickering. And then we will put it up on the school. And then, you
Amazing.
know, maybe it'll make the press. And then we can talk about what the bloody hell is going on in that primary school. All right?
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Have a very Merry Christmas.
You too, Kelly.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, good evening. This is TERF Talk Tuesday. My name is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Firstly, I can't believe I got through. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And thank you to everyone who has called in today, because each person has brought up something else for me, like even as a reminder. So thank you for everyone joining in as well. I just had a hypothetical question. So I work in sales, and I have I've got good relationships with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my clients are a lot of my clients are men.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, I get on with them really well. Like I haven't received or experienced a lot of sexism from them.
Mm-hmm.
If I have, then I haven't really noticed it. So I suppose there's like something there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we are on terms for the most part where you know, conversations become more personal. You know, I'll ask about their family and that kind of thing, and they want to hear about what's going on in my life, and I want to talk to them about this movement. But you know, when you're talking about men in their 50s and 60s, or 40s, 50s, 60s, I can't campaign to them to say, you know, go out stickering and, you know, do these types of actions. So my first question is, what would in a scenario like that, where you've just got access to someone, you're not friends with them, but you work together in a certain capacity, like what would be their call to action?
I think if I was dealing with men, certainly in sales, I think I'd probably rely on the fact that they quite like sport, watching, if not participating. So I might talk about sport. I may get into the whole thing by maybe mentioning some sporting activity or something, would be perhaps how I would ease my way into talking about it. I think men in general, they just have to talk about it, right? So there's no man that's going to lose his social group, or let's face it, men can pretty much, especially I used to be in sales. I loved it. I was very good at it.
But doesn't surprise me.
But I'm thinking that, especially in sales, there's not too much men can say that will get them even sort of mildly out of favor in a group. So I think they just have a duty to talk about it to the women in their lives that they care about. Maybe, you know, that, you know, if they said, what can I do? I would suggest that. But I think just to broach the subject, because if you have quite a good relationship with them, you don't then want not to have a good relationship with them, and you don't know what's in their family. You don't know if one of their kids is pretending that they're the opposite sex or whatever it is. But I would I would dive in. I would go foot forward with the old sport.
That's really good advice. The reason I asked this question was off the back of what one of the other women said. I can't remember exactly what she said, and I thought, actually, this is what I've been thinking about, and this is what I need to put across. But I was going to go in with the, you know, do you want your granddaughter, you know, your 4-year-old granddaughter to be in a changing room or toilet with this person, but then, you know, with a man, but then that's appealing to their, I don't know, that could come across a bit too personal. But bringing up the sports thing, I didn't even think about it. I think that's the best angle. So thank you. just another thing on your QR code stickers, they're never in stock, and they're my favourite ones to sticker.
I will redo.
We've
been. I can't tell you how busy we've been since the States, really, especially now. Long story, but we've sourced different items. So even though our items were lovely, these are just a step up. So yeah. So I promise. In fact, I will write it down on my to-do list, which is this one. That we need the QR stickers. And maybe I'll even update the page. Which did you see the page that goes to Owen Jones?
Oh, I've not seen that, I don't think.
So this goes,
Sorry.
Do you want to hear more about it? Or do you not? And if you pick the do you not, it then goes to a photo and it says, Are you Owen Jones?
That is brilliant. That's perfect.
Well, yeah. Anyway, good luck.
Thank you so much for everything.
You're very welcome. Have a very Merry Christmas.
You too, all the best.
Cheers, bye-bye. Can I just say to Cars in Depth, yes, I did know. I did know as soon as I got on the air. Hello, good evening. This is Kellie-Jay. You're through to TERF Talk Tuesday. You can say you are, you don't have to. What would you like to say?
I can't believe I got through.
You did indeed. Hi.
How are you doing?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. I just want to say I'm a huge fan.
Thanks.
I think the work you do is really invaluable.
Okay. Specifically, what why do you think it needs doing?
Well, I wanted to tell you something that happened to me a few months ago at the doctor's. That was honestly quite bizarre. I went for something that was obviously a very specific man's issue, and I went to pick up a certain test from the receptionist, and she gave me the wrong one. It was actually a cervical swab. And I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, you've given me the wrong one." And she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You do have a cervix."
Did she?
And I couldn't believe it. I was just like, what? And it's one of those moments you just, I just couldn't believe it.
Was the receptionist blind or deaf?
She did have blue hair.
So you're telling me that you sound like a man. I'm assuming that you don't have a cervix and that you are a man, and that a receptionist insisted that you had a cervix.
Yep, point dead in the eyes and said, "You do have a cervix. This test is for you."
And that was based on, what do you think gave you the idea that you had a cervix?
I have absolutely no idea. I think then, she sort of went on this whole kind of rant about how men do have cervixes and, all of this. And I was just sitting there thinking, is this real life?
I know. I'm almost thinking the same. So did you complain?
Yeah. So it actually resulted in me not getting appropriate treatment for a few days. So I actually threatened legal action, and then eventually I got an apology from the doctor, and that was that. But I just, I do feel like these kind of issues, I do think they disproportionately affect women more than men, which is why I think the work you do is so important.
Do you think that when you tell that story, people believe you?
Well, my friend, I live with a doctor, and he was just kind of saying he's seeing more and more of this stuff where these kind of lines are getting blurred, and it's just absolutely bizarre. And I really worry. I'm pretty confident that I don't have a cervix, but I wonder if someone was maybe a bit younger, maybe they wouldn't understand. I just feel it's just absolutely preposterous that we're at this stage.
How old are you?
26.
26. How long were the tests going to take?
So it was a bank holiday on the Monday, so I had to get them on a certain day. So I then had to go a Friday and a weekend and the Monday.
And how long
treatment.
were the results going to take? Like, how much time did you lose with this mix-up?
I lost. It took me another week to actually be able to get treatment.
God, just think, because when I have actual cervical swabs, they take at least 2 weeks. But thank you so much for calling, and all the best for the future in getting your story out there. Cheers.
No, thank you ever so much. You do invaluable work. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. I know, do you know, the last time I went to the doctors, they said, we absolutely know that you have a penis. Good evening. My name is Kellie-Jay. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are. You don't have to. We don't even need to know if you've got a cervix or not. What would you like to say?
I can't believe I got through because the video's still planned. And I was just thinking, it only took 2 weeks for your cervical swab, and I've just been told mine's going to be 12 weeks. Yeah, 12 weeks to get it back. And she was like, you know, if you don't get it back, you know, within like the 12 weeks, then give us a call. And I was like, well, I would like to fucking think I'm going to have it within 12 weeks. Like.
12 weeks?
12 weeks.
We can even do, at my local GP, we can do our own swabs. We don't even have to have the indignity of having somebody do it. Yeah, you could do your own swabs.
That was only the second one I've ever had, because it must be the second, like, I think you get it whenever you're 25, and then, or maybe it was 27, so it must have been like three years later, and it was horrible, absolutely horrible.
Oh, I hate them.
Hate
I hate all of it. I'm a proper, I'm really English when it comes to being a little bit like, I don't do stranger nakedness, not even for medical reasons.
No, and see the woman who does it, she talks to you so much, and I already feel awkward, and then I'm thinking, like, just stop talking, and then she keeps talking about how awkward it is. She's like, I'm just like, please stop. So I just wear a mask.
You're like, can you just stop talking and just get on with it? Do it quickly.
Yeah.
Focus on your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, what did you really phone for? Because I can't imagine it was to talk about swabs.
Oh yeah, no, that's not what I phoned. I'm Nora. I sent a chat in earlier, and then I thought, well, I'm going to phone in because this creeps annoying me, that guy was talking. But I just wanted to, I guess, share my biggest aggravation at the minute with the whole trans cult, and that's probably the links to the lesbian, gay, bisexual movement. Because I'm a lesbian, and I find it like maybe, I don't know how long ago, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I would have like went to pride parades and like, you know, had a rainbow and not thought anything of it. And now I just feel like I wouldn't want to be near that movement. I wouldn't want to associate myself with it. I think the drag queen story hours are as close to child abuse as you can get. I mean, maybe they are child abuse. I don't have kids, so I don't know how I would feel if it was my kid, if I would say it's definitely child abuse, or if it's just like.
I would definitely feel violent if someone took my 5-year-old along to a drag queen story time. I certainly would have to really have a good word with myself before I went and saw the school.
Yeah, there's a video on Twitter at the minute of one of them, and it's really, really bad. Like, and the girl stops a few people outside to ask if they think it's appropriate. But yeah, I guess that's my biggest frustration is just those links to that movement, and I think it makes it feel like, I don't know, not like, maybe dirty is the right word. It makes it feel like you're associated with something that's like sordid.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine. I met 2 men in New York about 3 years ago. They've been together for 20 years. Really lovely couple. They'd literally been kind of marching in pride parades 25 years before. They'd been around and they'd fought for their rights not to be seen as predatory paedophiles, as gay men, and that they were safe around children. And, you know, they had those accusations thrown at them by a homophobic population. And now this drag queen stuff and this kind of trying to sort of groom kids into this thing, it's just totally tainted the whole of LGB with this kind of paedophilic, nasty, grooming little movement.
I totally agree, and I think there's I was thinking of it in terms. I actually watched one of your videos the other day, and then it said like, the house is on fire, the kids are inside, just take the fucking water. And I was like, because I've always thought to myself, I don't want to vote because the political parties over here, I'll not get into it, but it's just a mess.
Yeah.
So then today I thought, well, I know of one political party who I think will definitely give me the answer I want on what is a woman. So I sent the guy a message, and then I was like, well, is that the stance of your party also? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, great. that's who I'll be voting for. Like, I don't care what you, they're that bad. They actually think gay people caused Hurricane Katrina, but I don't care. But like, I care enough about, like, I feel like gay rights has come so far. It doesn't, maybe over here, I don't feel like we need defended to the extent that women's rights need defended. I think that's something that really silos the women's rights movement, is people are, you know, they won't vote on just one issue. And I think it's coming to the point where that is possibly what needs to happen. And it's definitely it's the only thing that's going to force me to vote. And I'll be getting everyone I know over here to vote for these people. Like, so yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to say.
Well, I sort of think around LGB, right? And I think it's the same about race. If those particular fights were about women only, if it was only about lesbian rights, and if it was only about the rights of Black women, I don't think any gains would have been made at all. I don't think we understood that the only reason lesbian and gay rights was actually effective as a campaign at all, whilst it was the work of women, it was because it also impacted the lives of men. And I just don't think that we would have made the gains if we just stuck to, hang on, what about, because I don't think lesbian culture and gay men culture have got anything to do with each other.
No, they don't. I think most gay men, I have one gay male friend, and I think I'm the only lesbian that he likes.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, you're not useful, that's for sure.
I tried to pick him. Like, it's never happening. He's too far the other way. But yeah, I think it's really sad that it's forcing people away from feeling like they have any sort of community. If they feel like they need one. And I think that's really sad. But I really hope you get back on Twitter soon. I've started tweeting Elon Musk. I think I'm on day 3 to be like.
Oh, is that you? I think somebody has shown me that. So thank you so much. But yeah, I want to get I want to get on Twitter again. And I also think that whilst you're waiting for other communities, I think the global community of women impacted by this particular ideology is growing by the second. And I think if we try and just bear in mind that we can fight about everything later, right? And I'm sure you will have to stand beside women who aren't particularly great about some of the things that you care about, and we can fight them to the death at the end of it. But I think until we have secured what a woman is in law and in culture, and that we stop grooming kids, I'm just willing to put everything else aside. But I will be coming to Belfast.
I really hope you do come to Belfast, but I really, really with you on that. I used to be involved in this Pentecostal church, and there's loads of people from it who I know, you know, they just think I'm going to hell. That's fine. Like, I'm still friends with them. This is just what they believe. You know, that's just, like, they have their freedom of belief. But if I can get those people to align with me on this one issue, then that's a lot of people. And I think places like churches are people who can be allies, and they only need to be allies on one thing. Who cares about everything else? But
and you never know, at the end of it, they might not want you to go to hell anymore. but thank you so much for your call. It was really lovely to talk to you and hear all about our smears and our cervix. Aren't we great? Thank you so much. Have a Merry Christmas. Cheers. Bye-bye. Hello, good evening or good morning. This is Kellie-Jay. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. Let me just see. There we go. Isn't that great? Just bear with me, children, because I can do that. Yay. Look, guys, maybe your mum has put some sort of soft block on porn and incel torture. I don't know. Hello, good evening. This is Kellie-Jay. You're through to TERF Talk Tuesday. You can say you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Kellie-Jay. My name's Ian. Right, I'm from Manchester.
Hi, Ian. How are you?
I'm not too bad. The reason why I'm ringing Kellie-Jay, is because I rang my doctors, okay, to get some results about what was going on with myself. And I've got a bloated stomach. And the receptionist turned around and said to me, she goes, "There's not a chance you could be pregnant, is there?" And I said, "Well, I'm a 54-year-old heterosexual male.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't think there's any doubt I'll be pregnant." And then she said, "Well, I'll put you through to the doctor because we've done my blood test, what come back." And she said, "Are you sure you're not pregnant again?" I said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not pregnant."
And you're 54? Because I don't think they'd ask me if I was pregnant, and I'm a 48-year-old woman.
Exactly. And I mean, I previously explained to this receptionist, I've got 4 kids, right, okay, and I've got 4 grandchildren.
Mm.
It's like, I'm not trying to say I'm, different to what I'm explaining. I'm an heterosexual male.
Mm. Why do you think they asked?
Because I think they're scared in case they misgender somebody. I honestly think they're petrified, right, in case they say the wrong thing to somebody on the phone.
Yeah. So
Would you agree with that?
Do I think they're scared? I think it would. I think you'd have to be, I don't know, a whole picnic short of a picnic to ask a 54-year-old anybody whether or not they might be pregnant.
Well, the funny thing is, when she put me through to the doctor, I said, "Is your receptionist Frankenstein's monster?" Because she doesn't seem to understand. Okay, and a male is a male.
And then the doctor said?
He said, "I'm going to hang up this call, right, okay, because I don't want to carry it on."
God, how
He
peculiar.
put down the phone on me, but even before he gave me my results. And it turned out, right, okay, 2 weeks later when I went up there, right, okay, I've got these cancerous cysts in the bowel. But
I'm sorry to hear that.
Listen, I'm not here for that. Right, okay, what I'm here for, right, okay, is why can't people just say what a woman is? I'm bewildered. I'm absolutely bewildered. I'm a 54-year-old man. I've got two daughters and 2 sons, and I can't understand, right, okay, because my kids know exactly what their genders are.
Mm. Well, how old are your kids?
24, 19, 17, and 15.
And what age? Like, who's the youngest, a girl or a boy?
Sydney, the youngest daughter is Sydney.
And who would you say has had the tougher time out of your 4 ages of kids?
Liana, the eldest daughter.
So your eldest is the 24-year-old.
She's a tomboy, but she's still a female.
Right.
She's joined the army. Right, okay. She's enjoying her army career, and she's the out and out tomboy. There's no getting away from it. But she's the loveliest girl on the planet.
Let me just ask you a question, because you use the word gender. Have you always used the word gender instead of sex? Like when you say they know what gender is, because it's not a word I use.
I use the word gender because everybody floats that word around.
Yeah.
Right. I use it now, but when I was younger, everything was sex-wise.
Well, Ian in Manchester, here's my little piece of advice. A, have a Merry Christmas and get well. And B, the word is sex. We are going to get rid of that word gender so that everybody knows what we're talking about. But have a really lovely Christmas with your children.
Kelly, thank you so much for listening to me. I really do appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Cheers.
And thanks for everybody in the chat who made me feel so welcome tonight.
All right. You're really welcome. Cheers, Ian. Bye-bye.
Cheers, bye.
Okay, I've got one more time for one more call. One more call. So exciting. And then I'm going to hello from Uruguay. Shut your face. Wow. Hello to you in Uruguay. I don't think we've sent a single t-shirt to Uruguay or stickers. So yeah. Exciting. Right, I'll just wait for one more call. And then we will go and we will all get, I haven't even put the heating on, so How exciting. Oh, am I missing calls? I might be missing calls. No. Yeah. It's very exciting this evening. We've had that poor boy who got told he definitely had a cervix, because that happens to us all the time, us ladies. I get to the doctors and she says, "Oh, hello, Miss Keen. How's your penis?" And I say, it's a rude thing to call my husband or something. I don't know what we even say. If I miss your super chat this evening, don't think I was ungrateful. I'm very, very grateful. But on this little scrolling thing that I use so that I can have all the other graphic-y things going on, it only gives me about 10 minutes to scroll up. So I'm going to cut you all off now. And I am going to shoot off. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Have a very exciting evening, I suspect. So to all you wonderful people, there, let me just switch the phones off. This is the last TERF talk tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I don't know why I've agreed to do that. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., I'm going to be doing another Australia, New Zealand special. I must say I've been too busy to get my correct schedule down, but TERF Talk Down Under, I'm not going to call it that because there's some lovely ladies who actually run TERF Talk Down Under. It's not a call-in show. This is TERF Talk Kiwi and Aussie special, pre-Christmas. So I will see you amazing women in your evening, in my morning. But for now, if you can take the insanity of some men and use it to your advantage, then I promise we will win. If you can be as excited as I am about the film that we are going to bring out as soon as humanly possible, then I promise we will win. If you can excite yourself as my tiara gets shined and sparkled. So ready for the TERF Queen Christmas speech on Christmas Day. Then I promise we will win. If you can get up early in the morning and watch TERF Talk Aussie and Kiwi, then I promise we will win. And if you can avoid that call, and you know why else we're going to win? Because I never lose.